Ed, you've been at this for 5 years now, right?
Yeah, we sort of started the journey 5 years ago when we decided that we wanted to embark on this adventure. And Shawn and I, have been talking about it for years and years, and since we were in university, and we just felt that we were at the right time in our lives, career-wise, that now was the time to sort of start to explore it 5 years ago, and then make sure we do it right.
And before this, you were running a winery, right?
Yeah, so my real day job right now has been running Flat Rock Cellars down in Jordan, Ontario.
Right. And why did you move into this facility in particular?
I think the main reason is we believe beer comes from a place, and we wanted to have a very strong, evocative place that our beer would come from. And so we didn't have a timeline on it, but we really wanted to find a building that exemplified our passion and commitment to the business. And this building has a ton of history. It was part of the building of Canada, and so we really fell in love with this place and really wanted to preserve it and allow people to see how spectacular this place in Dundas, Ontario is.
So what is its connection with Canadian history?
So it actually started as a foundry in the 1860s. So that would be the foundries that were building the steel machines that built Canada. Right. It was quickly converted to a curling and skating rink in the 1880s. Right. And that, again, reflects Canada. It's skating, it's hockey, it's curling, it's recreation that we do.
So you've got a sort of unique blend of retail, bar, and brewery all in a very open concept.
I really wanted our customers to be able to experience what we do. There's no have a beautiful bar and then hide an awful facility in the back. That's not what we wanted to do. We bought the best equipment you can get anywhere in the world, and we want our customers to see our commitment to quality, authenticity, and putting up walls and keeping them away from where we make the beer just didn't seem like the right thing to do. Right. And so we wanted to be very transparent in what we do, how we do it, and why we do it.
Right. And the equipment behind you is all from Italy, is that right?
Yeah, it's. I spent years looking at all different manufacturing equipment, from Canadian to American to everywhere else, German, Italian. And we decided on this equipment from Italy. I really firmly believe it is the best equipment that we could buy. I remember our brewmaster, Rob, I kept telling him, we've got great equipment. And when we went over, just before it was put on the container to be shipped here, I brought Rob with me, and I remember him walking out of the factory saying, you really did buy the best equipment.
The brew house itself is what's called a step mash system. It is our mash tun, lauter tun, brew kettle. You'll notice that we don't have any stacks that go through the roof. A lot of breweries have their vent stack going through the roof. We're not allowed to do that. We're in a downtown area, and the sensitivity to local business, so that was one of the requirements. So we had them manufacture a condensing system on the brew kettle to prevent that kind of vapor loss. So all of our smells are internalized, which I think is great. I mean, the people that complain about having a brewery next to them because of the smell, I don't get it. Never have, never will. So we have the smell of flowers when we're, in here in the wintertime, it's when you're brewing, it's warm porridge. You've got this fabulous, it smells warm. You want to put some brown sugar on it and just have a bowl. It looks great. And according to an 1834 chemist, it was just prior to Pasteur, and they didn't really know what yeast was yet. They called it God is good, because you take the scum off of one brew, put it into another brew, and you got beer. So God is good. And they were just working with the microscope, and his thesis was, or hypothesis was, that this was an incredibly small animal with enormous genitals. And out the front came alcohol, and out the back came carbon dioxide. And to be honest, and all brewers keep this on their wall. It's a classic treatise. You'll notice at the bottom of the vessel is a milled screen. That screen has slots in it that allows us to separate the liquid and the solid. In the old days, and I would say prior to 1850, beer was made in a different manner. You would you'd make your mash, you'd run all the liquid off, and you'd make beer. And that was for adults. Then you'd fill it up with liquid again on the mash and run it off again. So that was called small beer, and that was for children, because mostly Europeans came to North America. They did not trust water. It just wasn't to be trusted, even though we were in the Great Lakes region. So small beer was for children, and it was up to 5% alcohol. And then regular beer ranged between 7-8% for adults. Today, what we do is we have sparge arms that spray water onto the top of the malt, so we get all the sugar in one shot instead of having two different brews. And that was a process created by Arthur Guinness, of all people. And so that lautering process and sparging process allows us to extract all the sugar out of the grain. All of that liquid sugar ends up in the brew kettle. All the spent grain ends up here. And that's where we have, this is the beauty of this system, is it automatically digs out. In most of the breweries I've been in, I get a shovel, I go in the door, and I would shovel it out. This allows us to just press a button, hold a button, and it will dig out for us. So as I'm getting older, it's much appreciated.
Now tell me a little bit about the wine barrels that you're using to hold the beer. What's that going to do to the flavor?
So one of the things that, one of the lines I should say that we are going to have is our barrel shed line, which is going to be beers that are aged in barrel. Having a winery and having access to barrels allows me to do that quite effectively. Those are the synergies between the two businesses. It'll bring a couple things. So it'll obviously bring some oak character, so that vanilla, that toastiness that will be added to the beer. But it'll also, because they've been used, it should bring out some of the wine qualities that were in it. And we're just in the early stages, so we're going to find out exactly how it really does bring out some of those qualities. But we really think it's going to be a great line for us and a great set of unique beers.
It's something I don't think has been done. There is Solera being done at sour breweries in Oregon and Washington State, but I don't believe that anybody's tried this here yet. And so it'll be fun for us to do. It's just something unique, something new to do. And just the handling of the barrels. Once there's tanks here, then we'll have them on racks up the side of the walls. We'll have them in between the beams. It'll separate our hospitality space from the production area. And the smell, it's just unbelievable.
So I didn't know you could just pour straight from the tank like this.
Absolutely. One of the great problems that we have is keeping the owner away from the tank. The tank level drops like no tomorrow.
So when are you going to be opening?
So our official opening will be April 1st, no joke. And we're very excited. We may do a bit of a soft opening just to sort of open the doors and get our feet wet and to make sure we've got everything operating properly. But really, we're going to have probably our VIP for the politicians and things maybe March 31st, and then for the public April 1st.
So what's the experience going to be like for somebody when you open? They come in, and what's going to be around the tasting bar and that kind of stuff?
I think the experience is really the most important thing. And the experience for me is not just the taste of the beer. Sometimes people just focus in on the taste of the beer. But for me, it is the whole experience. So we've invested a lot of money in the building itself, preserving the architectural heritage of this building. So that's part of the experience. Another part of the experience is our staff and the hospitality that they will provide, and so training and having the best staff there. Be able to interact and view the brewing process will be part of the experience. Tours will be part of the experience, and ultimately so will the beer. And so I don't see this as a come in and taste our beer. I really see it as come in and have a great, complete experience from our people, our building, our hospitality, our beer, our education that we'll provide. All of those things will be critical to the experience that we'll be providing.
Great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.